9 days in to the Money Momentum. How are you doing, Instagram? We're going to get rocking and rolling here just in a second. We're going to bring the Facebook folks back on. Let me know where you're coming in from. Say hello. And so good to see you. And so yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So curious, what's going on? How's your week going? Let me bring this down a little bit. We've got 2 minutes and we'll get started. We're going to have we're going to take it another step further, coming in for, what we're doing. All right. So, yesterday we did some things around your cash, what it's going to do. We're going to talk about business. So Ed is in the house. How you doing, my friend? So good to have you here. We're getting started here in 2 minutes, but I just wanted to jump in early and say hello, see how y'all are doing, and we'll get this thing started here just in a second. Day number 9 of the 10 days of Money Momentum. All right. Deborah's in the house. How you doing, Deborah? So good to see you. So good to have you here. I know we say so good to see you, but I can't see you. So it's so cool to have you. Is that Bernice? Hopefully I pronounced that right. Is coming in, and we'll get rocking and rolling here just in a second. Naomi's here. She is. I think you've been here every single day. You are a rock star. So cool to have you here. 60 seconds and we're going to get rocking and rolling, all right? Do me a favor. While we're doing this, let me hear from you if there's, what have been the takeaways? Anything that came about from some of the things. Yeah, oh, God, I'm even getting hearts. I like that. So let me know maybe, what's the biggest takeaway, some of the things that we've gone through. We have been going 8 days straight. Thank you. I'm glad I did. I'm known for butchering names, including mine. I don't know. We've been going 8 days straight. This is day number 9. Here we go. Mark Anthony is in the house. He's another one who's been here every single day. Dear friend, good man. Doing some amazing things. So we're gonna get started here in just a couple seconds. We're getting people in. Lori is coming in on Facebook. So I'm gonna unmute and here we go. In 3, 2. Hey, welcome to day number 9 of the 10 days of Money Momentum. This is going to be great. A lot of you I have seen here every single day. I am freaking impressed. You guys are rock stars. I am honored. Lori's here. Mark's here. Bernadette's here. I think it's Carrie. Naomi's here. Taking notes. Taking names. What? Been a good week. More than a week, 8 days. We got 2 days left of this. The whole idea of this, if you're just jumping on, it's your first time. If you're just jumping on, the whole idea of this is to move the money needle for you, to talk about principles, fundamentals, principles. And I look at principles in a different way. Principles are all about the fundamental truths, the universal fundamental truths. And we're going to talk about it in the construct of money, entrepreneurship, business, because here's what I believe. Business and money intersect, and where they intersect lies your life. And so what we need to think about is how do we scale our business and scale our money so we can scale our life? This whole idea of being an entrepreneur. I was having a conversation with one of my high-level one-on-one mentoring clients, and so today, and we were just talking about this whole idea of scaling. Nick is back in the house. So good to have you. He's another one who's been here every day. Salima's, she's been here every day. This is so cool. So cool. This idea of scaling our business, where we are too, in a situation where if we're not careful, our business will consume us. Well, that's not what it's there to do. It's there to grow us. It's there for us to serve. It's there for us to make a difference. It's there for us to grow into a better person, into a bigger person. The whole idea of creating deeper impact is about who we become in the process. See, so the entrepreneurship game isn't just about sales. In fact, I actually believe it's not about sales at all. It's about improving the human condition. And what ends up happening as part of improving the human condition is that we can get paid for it. Okay? So the beautiful thing is that we're improving people's lives. We're making a difference. We're making an indelible impact on people's lives, while at the same time we get compensated for it so we can live our best life. That's what I really believe we're here to do. See, it's not about business for business sake. It's about business for life's sake. It's about how we turn around and make this work in a harmonizing way. In a harmonizing way. It's not about balance and work-life balance, because we can't do that. We cannot separate ourselves. We can't live our lives in a work bucket and then live our lives in a hobby bucket and try to figure out how much we're going to do. It's about harmonizing and creating harmony between all the things that are integrated and everything. And so this is the key. Yeah, my man, Justin Prince. Yeah. So this is really, really cool. So this is day number 9. We've got one more day after this, and then we've got some prizes. Those of you that are just joining that didn't catch all the days, here's the way to catch all the days. And if someone wants to toss this into the comments, this would be cool. But I created a special replay page for all of you. For those of you that want to go revisit it, or those of you that missed some of it, go to melabraham.com/10-day replay. 10 with the number 10. Okay? So 10-day replay. So melabraham.com/10-day replay. It will get you access to the replay page. Not now. Stay with me here, because we got day number 9 coming on today. Then we're going to go from there. And we got day number 10 tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to be doing some drawings. We got, thank you, Nick. We got some stuff that is going on. I've got Apple Pencils. I've got my number 1 best-selling book, The Entrepreneur's Solution. And we've got some Amazon gift cards and just some fun, and someone, I don't know if this is a grand prize or a booby prize. I don't know. You guys are going to have to decide that. But some lucky person is going to get a chance to have a strategy session with me. We're going to do a one-on-one. So, and do that. So here's the thing. And you don't necessarily have to be here to win. How you get entered is you've been commenting on the posts, either on Instagram, the prompt posts every morning at 8 a.m., either about the exercise, either on Instagram or Facebook. My team is collecting all those names, and for every time you comment on each of those exercises, you get an entry in there. And what will happen is that we'll do random drawings tomorrow, and based on those random drawings, we'll make a list, and we'll notify you whether you're Instagram or Facebook. We'll reach out to you if you're not here to make that happen. All right. So that's how we're gonna do it. And love to have you here and the excitement and the celebration. But you also know that this is all the celebration of my show, the Affluent Entrepreneur Show, coming live. I just had a conversation with my producer today. It's coming live, likely Monday. We'll see. It's up to Apple iTunes. We're going to submit on Friday. We'll see what happens. But we're going to be dropping some episodes. We're going live next week. And so it's in celebration for that. And I hope you join me on the show, that you get a chance to download it, subscribe, and we can continue this journey beyond this 10 days. I'm going to be doing this from a training standpoint on the show. We'll also going to be bringing in guests, which I haven't done in these 10 days, bringing in guests, dear friends of mine, that will talk about their journey, their entrepreneurial journey, but more their money journey, the things that they've learned, the lessons about how to do this the right way, to have that affluent life, to make that difference. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of you on. You may have some questions about money questions and business questions and all that, and I'm going to do some live coaching. On some of the episodes, I'm going to either just answer Q&A, so I'm going to want you to send me questions, or I'm just going to say, let's do a coaching session, let's do it live, and make it happen. So the show's for you. It's about you. It's about your future. It's about bringing it home. It's about making it a reality, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you. All right. So today, day number 9, we're going to talk about another thing. We talked about the prompt today, talked about richness comes from your money working harder than you did for it. This is a really important concept for us to understand. See, when we get into this, and those of you on Facebook will be able to see this. Those of you on Instagram, you can't necessarily see it because I'm going to jump to my iPad, but I'll explain it enough that you understand this and all that. So the show you're going to find, it'll be on iTunes at first. So I'm going to be putting announcements out. You'll see me going live to make sure that y'all know that the show's out. We'll post the links there once we know what the link is, because they won't give us the link until we go live. So we'll make sure that we get that in there. Hey there, Donna, so good to have you. So here's the deal. Too often, when we first start out in business, when we first start in the world, when we first start out employing ourselves, we're at what I call level 1 in wealth building. Level 1 in wealth building. And level 1's wealth building is where we're trading our time. We're investing our time to make money. Okay? We're investing our time to make money. And then we start to understand that, wait a second, I only have a certain amount of time in a day. I can only do so much. And in fact, I had this business model as an accountant. It's a horrible business model until you realize, wait a second, if I'm making enough money, I can actually buy some of my time back. I can actually scale, hire someone, and so this level 2 is where we start using money to get our time back. Okay? Now, many people will sit either in a place where they're trading time for money, or they're trading money for time. And I want you at least trading money for time, but here's the ultimate goal. And what this whole journey is about, this moving the money needle and money momentum, the affluence blueprint, this is what it's about, is trying to get to level 3 of wealth building. Level 3 of wealth building is where instead of time for money or money for time, what you're doing is you're trading money for more money. In other words, what ends up happening is the money you make is working really hard for you. It's doing the heavy lifting to build your wealth. So, and here's the beautiful thing when we talk about money. Money to me, they're your little foot soldiers. They're your little employees. Your employees that are going to do the work for you. But unlike employees work only a certain number of hours. They only work a certain number of days a week and weeks per year, and there's limitations and everything. But your money works for you if you do it right. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There is no union. They don't ask for pay raises. They're not complaining. They don't have any of that. And it's always working for you. And so this is the idea, is that I want to make sure that over time we get your money working harder for you than you did for it. In other words, it's giving you a multiple of reward for what you put in. Okay? And why this becomes really important is this whole thing of and this is where we're kind of going today, is that we have a broken retirement system. Broken in a lot of ways. But one of the ways that it's broken is the way we have been taught, the way we've been indoctrinated into what retirement is and what it should be in our life. Is wrong. It's just plain wrong. And that is my opinion. And since it's my opinion, it's right. For me, at least. Okay? And it works for me, and maybe it'll work for you. Here's the thing. What we're told to do is to turn around and save money during our working years. So we're saving our money during our working years. We're saving. We're putting it in retirement. We're doing what we can over our working years. And then we get to a point where we say, I think I'm going to slow down. I think I'm going to retire. Okay? And whatever your definition of retirement is, we get there. And what the world tells us, because of the way our retirement system is set up, is they say, great, we need you to reduce your lifestyle. In fact, there's a recent study, you know me and studies, where 62% of the people surveyed or studied said that they believe that they will either have to continue to work in their retirement years or reduce their lifestyle. Well, wait a second, I don't want to reduce my lifestyle. But let's just play this out, because that's what they do. They say, reduce your lifestyle, and then you start to draw down from what you saved. In other words, you save, and then you reduce your lifestyle and you spend. And the problem is this idea of spend, is that we're spending down our savings to a point where what we end up doing, this is what I call the save, spend, pray methodology. The save, spend, pray methodology, because at the end of the day, we are praying that our life doesn't outlast our money. That's a mistake. Especially with medical advances these days. And so what we've done, see, this is something that came about because historically people that worked long-term for companies, they would get something called a pension. And a pension is lifetime income. But we don't do that anymore, and we've replaced the pensions. Most companies don't do that. We've replaced the pension with something called a 401k or a contribution, or a defined contribution type of plan. So you put money away into savings, into investments, into a retirement account. And I don't care whether you're American or Canadian or UK, you have the same thing. And then when you're done, you have this pot of money at the end. And then you go live your life and you hope that pot of money is enough. That's what I want to break. That's the thing that I want to shift. Because what I think we ought to be doing is looking at it and saying, how do I use my working years, my business, my entrepreneurship, and the things that I'm doing? We're going to dig a little deeper in this, to build a financial machine. A financial machine that allows me to then take cash from the machine without draining the machine. In other words, I'm not spending the savings. So let's throw some numbers at this. That if it takes me $2 million, if $2 million is what I have in the machine, at 5%, I'll do the math for you. 5% of $2 million gives you $100,000 a year without ever touching the machine. The $2 million stays there. The normal retirement would say, take the $2 million and spend it down slowly. Big mistake. Okay? Our machine, if we got it at 2 million, we want to keep it at 2 million. We're going to have it earn enough to support us. That's true financial liberation. That's where we're going with this. Now, is it easy? Nah. Is it simple? Certainly. But it's going to take some discipline. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some of the things we've talked about in the other 8 days to have those principles in place, to have the discipline in place, to check your behaviors, to do that, to have a process that works, to make that happen. Hopefully you're catching what I'm putting down right now, because this is really important. So what we want to do is build a machine. Now, how do we build a machine? It's going to come from our business. Now, I want to walk through a little bit about your business and how to operate the business, how I would look at allocating cash flow and doing these things so you can start to put money away, because your business runs a certain way. Our business, if you will, creates revenue. You have sales. Sales generates what we call revenue, okay? So what ends up happening is the business generates revenue in the form of sales. That's the cash that comes in the door from customers. And when the cash comes in the door from customers, we have to use the cash in a lot of different ways. And most of the time, most businesses that I've seen, they have, and I get it, budget is a bad word. I get it. A lot of people don't want a budget. Here's what I think, though. It's not truly a budget that we're trying to get after. It's what I call a cash resource plan. Here's what it is. If truly the cash that you have are your little foot soldiers, your employees that are going to work for you 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, then let me ask you this. Would you hire a group of employees, put them in a room and say, I don't have a job description for you. I don't have any goals for you. I don't have a vision for you. I'm not going to give you any direction. And in fact, I'm going to ignore you. I'm just going to spend, I'm going to do this. Would you expect that those employees would accomplish the goals that you want? Of course not. So why do we do that with our money? Why do we not tell every single dollar what it is supposed to do? Now, you can call it a budget, or you can call it a resource plan, whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is this, is that we need to tell every dollar what their responsibility is, what the goal is, and the way we do that is to plan. We're intentional with what we do. Hopefully this is making sense. So that money that comes in revenues has to be used for something. And the first thing that a lot of times we use it for, we'll need to use it for, is expenses. Overhead, rent, internet, advertising, all of the expenses. Now I'm talking about the expenses that don't include you. All right? So these are all the operating expenses except for your salary, except for your wage, except for your stuff. And you'll see where it comes in a second. The other thing that we have is this idea of taxes. And trust me, I think the taxes are going up, unfortunately. Taxes. Now, more often than not, I have watched entrepreneurs get in trouble because they forget that they owe taxes on what they make. So we need to put money away on a regular basis to make sure that you can pay the taxes. The tax man isn't nice. They're not friendly. If you're not paying your taxes, they're coming after you. They will peel you like an onion. They have more rights than anyone else in most cases. They can seize your house. And so bottom line is, plan for taxes. Plan for taxes. Put that away and do not touch it, because they will shut you down in an instant if you're not careful. So we have this thing that the revenues come in, we pay all our expenses, we pay our taxes, and then there's this amount left over. There's this amount left over, and the amount left over is what we call profit. Now I'm oversimplifying this, but it's for you to just understand this point. So there's this profit. There's this amount left over at the end of all the things being paid. And there's three things we can do with that amount. And so the first thing that we can do with that amount is that we can, one, reinvest it back into the business, which a lot of people do. Okay? And I believe in that to a point. Okay? To a point. The second thing that we can do is we can actually go spend it. I got some money, I'm going to go spend it. Now, my recommendation to my clients is that your portion of the profit is what we call a living wage. What does it take for you to live? Now, I teach something called the 50% rule that is how we get to the numbers that we do. But bottom line is that we need to look at what it's costing you to live and that living wage. So you're going to spend it. If you spend it all, you spend all the profits, there's nothing left to do anything with. Number three is that we invest it, okay, in our future. In our future. Jason, my friend, DM me and we'll figure it out. So we invest in our future. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do all three. So that profit needs to be allocated in a way that some of it is going to back into the business to grow the business. Some of it is going out to pay for your lifestyle, but not over and above because then you won't have anything to invest. We need to have something to invest in our future. If we truly want to build a machine, we need to invest in our future. Here's the thing. What I see, and if we look at those that are truly wealthy and those that aren't so wealthy, let's just put it that way, the way they see things is this. Most people, they make money. Then they spend money. And then they see what's left. And they invest what's left. They invest the scraps. They invest the scraps. How do you intentionally get to your affluence vision if all you're doing is saying, I'm going to see if I can do it with the scraps? Do you know what the wealthy do? They make money. They make investing a priority. So they carve a piece off first for their investing, and then they see what's left, and that's what they create their lifestyle on. Now, being entrepreneurs, if they don't like the lifestyle they're going to be able to create after they do their investing because they say, there's just scraps left over, I can't do this, then it's our job to increase our income by either increasing the revenues, decreasing expenses, or both. But we don't forsake our future. Building a financial machine of an army of dollars that will take care of us in perpetuity because we want a freaking lifestyle today. I'm being blunt, I am being upfront, I'm being direct, but it's coming from a loving heart because I want to see you financially liberated. I want to see you financially independent. When we have more people at the age 55 and above that have less than $70,000 saved for their future, that is a travesty and it is a problem. Now, it is a problem that can be fixed. Now, yesterday we talked about our decisions can either be the chains that chain us to the ground or the wings that allow us to soar. But we can only go one way or the other. We can't do both. Okay? So if we understand that our business is the primary source of cash flow for us to build a machine, now we need to build a machine. How do we do this? Yesterday, I kind of walked you through the wealth priority ladder. Today, I want to give you a similar framework, but it's called the profit priority process. Okay, a lot of P's there. The profit priority process framework. It's how I want you to look at your cash coming into the business and you're saying, how do I invest it? What do I do? Okay, so here's how it breaks down. At the base, at the very bottom, okay, the very first thing, what I want you to do when you have that excess cash coming in is to take your living wage out. And you're saying, okay, well, what's your living wage? What is a living wage? Living wage takes care of the 5 walls. Food, shelter, utilities, clothing, transportation. Food, shelter, utilities, clothing, transportation. That's your 5 walls. Okay? Your luxury vehicle is not on that list. All the fancy trips, not on that list. Okay? You'll have a chance to do it, but we need to come back to it after we've allocated the funds in a proper way in our business. So, and how we get there is this. So I figure out what that living wage is, and I can allocate my money, and I can pay that first. The second level of this is that we then move to taking care of some level of cost reduction. What I want to do is in my business, I want to spend a little time, and I typically do this annually, where I start to look at subscriptions and all of those things. But cost reduction, and start to categorize things as needs versus wants. The needs are the things that are core to driving revenue in the business. Okay? I need internet. I need my Zoom. I need those things because those are core to me generating revenue in the business. Okay? I don't need all kinds of fancy bells and whistles though. I could do this literally with a phone if I wanted to. A phone and a laptop. So cost reduction comes from a discerning, critical eye against your needs and wants. So I want you to look at the business, look at the expenses, and start to allocate and understand what your needs and wants are. Now, the next layer, if you will, as we do this, just like we do in the personal space, where we say, I want to have a peace of mind fund. In the business space, I want to have a comfort cushion. And what I mean by this is this. I don't want you, if the business starts to have any challenges, I don't want you to have to go from your personal account and put money in the business to sustain it. That's going the wrong way. What we want to do is have a cushion in the business to cover us. And what I say is that most of my clients, I want them to have 2 to 4 months of expenses in a high yield cash account in the business name, so you have the ability that if something happens, you get shut down, you have a problem, you have that in play. Okay? So that's the comfort cushion. And then the last 2 elements that come into play here is this idea of debt elimination. And I'm going to do these at the same time because we do them at the same time. And cash for growth. This is where all of a sudden you can start to do other things. And these 2 are done together. I want to accelerate my pay down of debt, because here's the thing we know. If and when we are debt free in a business, we lower the overhead and the cash drain on the business. And what we start to do is say, let me start to do things. Let me try to grow my business at the speed of cash. In other words, I need to generate business. I need to generate business in a way that allows you to generate enough cash. So I want to get debt elimination, and then I want to put money away for growth, for what we call the 3 reasons. Okay, so I'm gonna allocate my income. I'm gonna allocate the cash first to living wage, cost reduction. Second is second. Number 3 is the comfort cushion. Then debt elimination, and then cash for growth. Cash for growth is for emergencies. Okay, cash for growth is for emergencies, opportunities, and generosity. So once I know that I've got myself to the point where my debt is taken care of, my living wage is taken care of, I've optimized my expense structure, I've got a comfort cushion of 2 to 4 months, now I can look at this and say, now I have some additional cash. I can use that to make sure that I build even more cushion for emergencies. But I can also have that cash there to invest in new opportunities, new directions, new things, and or for generosity, to make a difference. Okay? This is how we want to run the business. When we run the business this way, what's going to happen is you're going to find that you're going to have cash available to you. You'll have cash available to you on a regular basis to build your financial machine outside the business. What we really need to do is start to build something outside the business so you're not dependent on the business. When I got diagnosed with cancer, if I didn't have the machine outside the business, I would have either had to continue to work, which would not have allowed me to do the things I needed to do to heal at the level I needed to do to heal. Or I would have shut the business down and tried to do something else, shrunk my lifestyle down, started to sell things and stripping away savings and investments and all that stuff. None of that happened. None of that happened. The way you do it is that it's important that you plan ahead, that you're disciplined. We've talked about behaviors already. We've talked about these principles, that you plan ahead, that you are disciplined so you're able to do this. Now, I get it. The process is simple. There's steps to it. The process may not be easy because there's work to it. There's discipline to it. You might have to shift your mind. You might have to do things differently. You might have to show up differently. But here's the thing when we do this right. Here's the thing when we do this right. I'm not talking about you having a lot of money. I am. But you don't need it to build a lot of wealth. Here's the thing. If we start to look at numbers, let's just look at numbers. If I can build the business and start to move out of the business, let's just say $800 a month. $800 a month, call it roughly $9,000 a year, $10,000 a year, that I can move out of the business, and I do that over 20, 30 years. In 30 years, you got $1.2 million. That's my point. Now, $1.2 million at 5% is going to give you over $100,000 a year to live on and never touch the $1.2 million. That's where you start to build a financial machine. Now, let's say you go great guns. Let's say you're going after it. And you sit back and say, I'm going to put $1,500 a year away. $1,500 a year away. Do you know in 30 years at 8%, $1,500 turns into $2.2 million? Over $2.2 million. That's the beauty of your dollars working harder for you than you did for them. $2.2 million. And you might look at me and go, hey, Mel, I don't want to work another 30 years. All right, 20 years? You got $900,000. It's still not so bad. My point is that you don't need to swing for the fences. You don't need to sit there and say, I need to have $3 million launches and things like that. We just need to consistently be in the game and know that we're putting money away because we're operating our business in an optimized fashion. We have priorities in how we're allocating our profits. And we know that the discipline with which we're doing it is going to build a financial machine over time that will take care of you. Because once you do that, it's just a mathematical problem. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the thing we need to do. To get your money to work harder for you than you did for it, it's important. It is important for us to make sure that we're running the business right, we're allocating money out, we're putting it away on a regular basis and building it up. That's the game. Okay. Hope that helps you. I hope that you'll go back to this because I threw a lot of numbers at you. I did a lot of moving parts on this one. We were building to it. But this is the important part in the sense that we need to build the machine. And we're not taking the machine apart to live. We're allowing the machine to kick off the cash so you can live. That's what got me through the cancer financially, is we had a machine we could flip the switch on. And the machine actually grew during the same time. and I wasn't working. Okay? I wasn't working. Okay? That's the game. All right? So with that, here's the deal. I want to make sure that I answer some questions because I've thrown a lot at you over 9 days. Hopefully you found it of value. And let's see if we can answer some questions. And remember, we got day number 10 tomorrow. We've got some drawings and giveaways tomorrow. All of this to celebrate the launch of my new show, the Affluent Entrepreneur Show, coming out next week. Get the word out. Let people know because their life as an entrepreneur is about to change. It's time to get off that treadmill. It's time to get on the affluence wagon and start to live life differently, live life bigger, live life in a way that's meaningful. Live life as an affluent entrepreneur, someone that has a richer lifestyle, that has a deeper impact, and that has complete freedom. That's the key. Okay? That's the game we're playing. All right. So let me look at it. Let me see some questions or any comments, and we'll take it from there. So Salima says, when do you start building a second income stream or a second business? Here's the deal. Thank you, Chris. Here's the deal with this. When your business has some self-sustainability to it, okay? Too often, now this is something that I call it the sandbox syndrome. Too often, entrepreneurs, when you become more successful, like I will get calls, okay? I will get calls and they say, I've got an opportunity for you. I've got an opportunity for you. You will have opportunities flying at you, okay? One of the reasons we put in an affluence vision, one of the reasons we build an affluence vision is to know where the bumpers are, to know what we're focused in on, to know what matters and what the priorities are. If we don't do that, every opportunity comes in, looks like a great opportunity, and you having the sandbox syndrome, the opportunity to do something, the entrepreneurial thinking, and I totally get it. Okay? You decide you're going to take on that opportunity, and what you end up with is a bunch of these opportunities that you're putting in the corner of the sandbox just because they're yours. It's like the kid who got all the toys in the corner of the sandbox even if he wasn't going to play with them. The problem is that then you don't give enough attention to any opportunity, and they never grow to fruition, and you sit back and say, this isn't good. Well, it might not be good because you didn't dedicate the time to make it good. So my belief is that first you get something that is running and running well. And then you see that you can remove yourself a little bit from it before you start another business endeavor. Now, that is different than saying that you have a business that's running and you have cash flow that's coming out of it, and you're going to take that cash flow and you're going to buy a piece of real estate, or you're going to go into investments, or you're going to do that. That's different. That's creating an income stream that is leveraged, that doesn't require your dedication to build it. It's truly different, because if you're trying to run 2 companies at the same time, look, I don't know what the last count was. Richard Branson has over 200 companies, but he's not running them all. Everything's feeding it up to him. Okay, so this idea that an entrepreneur has all these companies, first, they never start that way. And they get one that is their absolute foundation, their bread and butter. It is running well, and then they're turning around and building another one. But that's down the road. So, so what are some ways to maximize the cash flow in your business? First things first, you need to go through the cost reduction process. Wants versus need. You need to scrutinize every single expense and to see, is this a necessary expense? Not a desirable expense. It may be, I really like this stuff. Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm operating cost effectively. The tendency is that when we're making profits, when we're doing well, we can get fat and happy and we get lazy. Not the time to get lazy. So first things first, analyze your costs. Second, you want to look at your core profit drivers. Your core profit drivers. What products, product lines, services are the things that make you the most money. I'll give you a for instance for me. I do valuations. I've done valuations for a while. I can get a valuation and the job could be $100,000, $50,000, $10,000. They're big dollars. I could still do tax returns, but tax returns are only going to pay me, I don't know, $200, $300, $400 a tax return. That's it. How many tax returns do I need to do to replace the revenue from a valuation? So I'm going to maximize my revenue opportunities, my profit drivers first. So figure out your cost reduction, one. Look at your highest margin revenue drivers and go all in on those second. And then look for other opportunities, ancillary opportunities, 1 degree off to build somewhere else. So I'm doing valuations. I'm getting paid big dollars for projects. But then I turn around and I say, you know what? I can talk too. I can go speak. So I'm going to go get paid. I get a keynote fee. My keynote fee right now is $25,000 and above for a keynote fee. And now with virtual, I'm sitting at my desk doing it. Ain't no travel. Okay? Point being is that I want to look at the highest probability of success, the highest profitability to start to grow that. Okay? Let me see what we got over here. Ed is asking, what institution will pay 5%? It's not an institution that'll pay it. It is investments that will pay. Different investments, you know, you're gonna create a financial machine. It's not a savings account. It's an investment portfolio, and you can get well above 5% in those. I think, Anthony, for the 5%, are you suggesting dividend stocks? I think I kind of answered that. So not just dividend stocks. I'm talking about a whole portfolio. When I'm talking about 5%, I'm just saying I'm going to draw 5% out. Typically, a portfolio, if done right, you'll get well in excess of 5%. But it's a combination of your investable assets. Your investable assets, and remember the exercise in this was to figure out everything you own and figure out everything you owe. And that net worth, that investable asset. Your investable asset is going to be all your stocks, your bonds, all your investments, all your real estate. Everything that produces cash flow and increases your net worth. It won't be your residence because it's not going to produce cash flow. But if I can create a portfolio of investments like we have a portfolio of investments that includes everything from ETFs, index funds, individual stocks, some cryptocurrency, real estate investment trusts, property, actually outright property that we own, equipment leasing deals. I mean, I've got trust deeds on real estate. We've got a diversified portfolio. And when you look at the combination of that, the rate of return on that is well in excess of 5%. It's actually, somewhere between 10 and 12% on average, depending on the year. Because if the market's having a problem, it's an issue. So, but you can do a dividend paying stock strategy over time. But that's a long-term strategy, Mark. So, but that's what I'm talking about, is building a machine that is a portfolio of diversified assets that in combination reduce the risk and increase the returns. Okay. So, Salima, what investments are good to put the company money in? Unrelated industries. You're not going to commingle. If you've got two different companies, you're not commingling these funds. They're separate. Unless you're taking it out of the company, then they become personal, but you're not going to commingle it. They're separate entities. And if the money in the company is meant for your comfort cushion, your emergency, and your growth, it's not going to be put into anything of any risk. It's going to be in a high yield cash account, CDs, money markets, and things like that. Because remember, the cash growth is there for emergencies, for opportunities. So you need to be able to have access to it, and you don't want to lose on it, and for generosity. Okay. So, for instance, one of the companies that I'm on the board of, we've got north of $40 million in cash in the bank. Now we have it in a barbelled portfolio. But the bottom line is that it's in a safe portfolio because we're not taking risk on it. Now, does that mean that we could be getting more return on it? Yeah, we could, but we'd be taking more risk, and we're not prepared to do that. So it's always a balancing act between risk and return. You're not going to get one without the other. Okay, so if it is money for operations and to sustain you, I'd put it in a secure account. Hopefully that helps. Okay. Other questions? Anything else coming up? I want to make sure that I cover it. All right. So, all right. Let's close this one out. Day number 9 is going in the back. We are going to close this out. Here's the deal. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., I've got the last post of the 10 days, the last prompt post going out with the last exercise. It's your last chance to enter by making sure that you comment on the exercise on the post, either on Instagram and or on Facebook. So do that. I'll see you back here at 4 p.m. sharp. We'll go live. We'll do some teaching. We'll do some giveaways. We'll have some fun. We'll celebrate, and we'll lead this right into the launch of the show coming next week. All right. Again, if you want to access the replay of the prior trainings and you don't want to search the Instagram or the Facebook page, then go to melabraham.com/10-day replay. They're all there for you, so you have them. And I'll be putting up a workbook so you have the exercises and all that stuff there for you. So you've got them there, and just go through it. Go through the training. This training, these 10 days, will move the needle for you if you take action. If you take the little actions that we've talked about over time, it's gonna make a monumental shift in your mind, in your actions, in your behavior, and your results. That's what this was all about. 10 days, you and I cruising, making a difference. We got more coming your way, starting next week too. So, melabraham.com/10-day replay, and that's how you can get to it. All right. You guys have an incredible, what is it? It's Tuesday. Have an incredible Tuesday evening, wherever you are in the world. I am blessed to be on this journey with you. I am honored, I am thankful, and I'm truly, truly grateful. And so many of you have been with me every single day of this journey live. And so thank you for who you are, how you show up, because it matters. So I appreciate you. You guys go out and crush it. Go out and rock it. And anything I can do, DM me. Let me know. Send me your questions. Let's get them answered. If I can't get them answered on this live, we'll get it on the show. We'll make sure that we got you going. All right? I got your back. You're not doing this alone. Remember, financial independence is a birthright. Let's go claim it together. Cheers.